Hey everybody, it's Nina Motivates. Hey everybody, I'm so super excited and welcome back to the You Can Show, where we do all things you can. We prove to you that you absolutely can do anything needed, wanted, or desired. How do I know? Because Philippians 4:13 tells us so. And so I'm so excited, and even more excited because I want to make sure that you get all that is for you. So we're going to get right into the show. Did y'all enjoy episode one? I hope you did because you got a little bit of an opportunity to get to know a little bit more about me. And so, as you know, as I stated in episode one, we're always going to have a scripture of the week. And so I'm excited to give us our scripture of the week. And our scripture of the week this week is coming from Ephesians 2:10. For we are his workmanship, his own masterwork, a work of art created in Christ Jesus, reborn from above, spiritually transformed, renewed, ready to be used for good works, y'all. We are created for good works. And I got some more scripture here. I want to make sure I give it to you all. Give it all to y'all. For good works which God prepared for us beforehand, taking path which has set he so that we could walk in them, living a good life which he prearranged and made ready. For who? For us, for me and for you. And our affirmation that's going to go with that this week is I am created for good works. Yes, yes, say it. And you is created for good works. And what else did I promise you that you will get each and every time is a book writing tip. Now, I tell you all the time, there's a book in everybody. And your book writing tip this week is to just simply write for 10 minutes a day. Draft your notes. They don't have to be in order unless you're a person that, like, I got to write in an order. But the most important thing is to get started. Go ahead and write your tips. Go ahead and get started. 10 minutes a day, take the writing pain away. You don't have to have it all done at one time. You just have to start writing. All right, y'all. I'm super excited to introduce to you our guest of the day. Get ready because we're going to have a great episode, y'all. Wendy L. Cunningham Barnes is a philanthropist, speaker, best-selling author, and the founder of the You Belong Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to building a more inclusive world for individuals with disabilities and the families who love them. Drawing from her lived experience as a caregiver and advocate, Wendy has become a powerful voice for change, compassion, and community. At the heart of the foundation is the Page Awards, named in honor of Wendy's late daughter, Paige. Now, in its eighth year, this annual celebration uplifts the often overlooked stories of families and individuals impacted by disability, as well as the businesses and organizations creating accessible, welcoming spaces. The awards serve as a living tribute to Paige's light and legacy and a rallying cry for a more inclusive future. Wendy's newest book, The Power of Self-Love for Women, I'm reading it, y'all, co-authored with her husband James H. Carpenter Barnes, help women, especially those caring for others, reconnect with themselves and prioritize their well-being without guilt. It is deeply personal, faith-filled, guided, rooted in the belief that healing and purpose can coexist. Y'all heard it. She also hosts the Wendy Life, a talk show that amplifies stories at the intersection of caregiving, advocacy, and identity. Her mission is to show what's possible when lived experiences meet leadership. Wendy lives by the mantra, turning pain into power and memory into movement. Every story she tells, every event she builds, and every family she serves is a part of her commitment to transform grief and growth and remind others that their journey matters. Through her voice, her foundation, and her faith, Wendy L. Cunningham Barnes is lighting the path for others. One story, one family, and one act of love at a time. Listen, y'all, she is so wonderful, so amazing. And now you get an opportunity to meet Miss Wendy.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm so excited to be on this show with you. Congratulations for getting this started. Your gift should be out there for more people to hear and witness. So this is exciting.
thank you. And thank you so much for being a guest. I don't want to waste time because I feel like we could talk forever. And you
And
just
we
have
have.
so much um amazingness to share with the world. So
Thank
I
you.
read your bio. It's so beautiful and it's so much even more to you. So I want you to tell the little audience a little bit about yourself in your own words.
I'm just I say just and I don't mean it to diminish who I am. I'm a little black girl, little black shy girl from the inner city of Chicago. But at my core, I am someone who's taken grief and turned it into purpose, providing proving that the deep loss you can create deeper love and lasting change. I am a wife, mother of three, philanthropist. I'm an unapologetic advocate for families navigating with disabilities. Like you said, the founder of the You Belong Foundation, creator of the Page Awards, co author of the new book that we're super excited about, The Power of Self Love for Women. But yeah, I got a lot of other things, but those are the basics of who I am.
The basics, y'all, the basics.
Yeah, the
So
basics.
we're gonna talk about both because the book, oh, is definitely a part of you can journey. Like you can love yourself, you can care for
Um,
yourself. But before we get
yes,
there, let's start with the You Belong Foundation because I feel like we could talk about either or all day. And since we're
yeah.
on borrowed time, let's get right into the You Belong Foundation. How did the foundation itself begin? Tell us a little bit about the You Belong Foundation and I'm gonna share something with you all. I love the You Belong Foundation, and I'm so grateful for social media that connected me to the You Belong
Yes.
Foundation. And I could talk about it all day long, but I want y'all to hear from the founder, so I'll let you
Yeah.
talk about it.
You know what? Yes, thanks for social media that we were able to meet. And thank you for being a part of the You Belong Foundation. You're part of our board, and that's super exciting. But the foundation itself was born from my daughter Paige's life and her legacy. After she passed, I just couldn't shake the feeling that while the world means well, it often forgets those with disabilities. We created the foundation to change that, to make belonging the standard, not the exception, right? What began as a way to honor her, her life, her legacy, is grown into a movement and is reshaping how communities include, celebrate, and uplift every individual just as they are. Everyone should go about their day. They should maneuver through their world as if they belong because they do. And I endeavor to make it that way.
Listen, to see and understand what the You Belong Foundation does is so beyond. I mean, for families, the movie day. And let's talk about this movie day, y'all. Because I know y'all can't see it, but y'all gonna go and check out the youbelongfoundation.org. Yes, you are, because I want you to understand all of the great things. She hosts events for mothers, for those with disabilities. The movie day is so exclusive because the You Belong Foundation rents out a movie theater
Yes.
twice a year.
Yes.
And anybody, this is like the most time you could come and feel included, inclusive, and you don't have to worry about bringing your special needs child or adult and them being made fun of or anything like that because the environment is conducive for all abilities, okay? All
Yes.
abilities, okay?
Yes.
No matter what your difference is, this is a space where your difference truly makes a difference. And I want to thank you for that because
Oh,
a lot of people don't know that something like this exists. And
yeah.
even with going to restaurants and making sure that they are accessible or your local stores, and this is something the You Belong Foundation is very hard at, has a heart of going into the stores and making sure, hey, do you have anything that's inclusive for people
Mm,
with differences or disabilities or
mhm.
special needs? If not, we need to talk to your manager.
100%. Yeah, I was in long, long, long story short, I was running as I'm always running. And I was going through Target, and you know how Target has the automatic first doors, like a little foyer, and then the second doors. This woman is sitting in a wheelchair in between the doors. And I'm like, looking around, like, and I'm like, do you need help? And she goes, no, no, my whoever she was with, I'm gonna say her daughter. My daughter went to find somewhere to get the buggy. And I looked around, there were no buggies around. And I said, oh, I'll be right back. So many people had walked past her prior to me getting there because, like, I saw people going in. I'm like, they just walked past. Like, they didn't even pay her attention. Like, she wasn't even there. And I'm like, no, no, no. And I went and found a manager, and I was like, she's right here. And I went back to her and I said, they're going to find a manager. I'm going to stay here with you until someone comes with this buggy because they have about 2.5 minutes before I go back because I'm that one. And someone came with it. And shortly after, her daughter came and said she had been having trouble finding someone help. I said, honey, I got you. But just something that little. And she was so appreciative. And I just felt good because a lot of times I'm that person that runs and may miss things, right? We have our agenda, we have our list, we have things we have to go and do. We just come from. But it took me maybe 5 minutes total to stop and help her. And anything else I had to do had to wait because I can't imagine you're sitting in between these doors and people are just walking past you. No one is even asking, do you need help? I didn't know that there was someone with her who was trying to find someone to help her. Why can't you be that person? So that day, I'm thankful to say I was that person. But a lot of times I've seen it where it's so easy to ignore. We've been ignored in public, trying to open this door that wasn't automatic with a wheelchair child. So I am always on the lookout for people that I can help throughout my day.
And so we're going to put a charge to everyone who is listening. Be more mindful, be more attentive. I love when you share the story about just the knowledge and the information about when people park in handicap spots. So,
Yeah.
this show is to educate, is to inspire, is to do all of those things. Now, when I ride past handicap spots, I'm looking at people's car like, where's their handicap
Oh,
sticker?
yeah.
And people don't even know why the extra space is between each
Yeah. And I
sticker.
didn't know. I mean, I like to be honest. Before I had special needs children, I saw the lines. I thought maybe, I don't know. It was a separation there for a reason. A lot of times I never did because it just seemed weird and I don't like getting tickets. You would see people park in those lines in between cars. I don't know anything about that, but those lines are for people who have accessible vehicles that the ramp lets out on the side. We need that space or we're going to tear up your car. Just trying to get the ramp out. But yeah, people will say, oh, I'm just going to be a few minutes. I'm going to run. We have the like the handicap play card. And when I'm by myself and I'm hurrying, no, I can't park. I will park far and just pray that I can, stay according to my schedule or I won't get wet if the rain is inclement. But I can't park in those spaces because I've been there where I've shown up and I see somebody, and you can't always tell. That's another thing. You can't always tell that someone has a disability. Just because they have a play card don't mean they're getting out limping or they're in a wheelchair. But I know people do it all the time. I'm just going to be a few minutes. That's the time when we roll up. And a few minutes is like an hour when you're waiting for someone to
Yeah.
move from a space that doesn't even belong to them.
So, audience, y'all listening?
Please listen.
Mindful. Know
Please.
that those spots, don't think, oh, it's too many of those spots. Sometimes those who need those spots feel like it's not enough.
It's not
So let's
enough.
not be selfish. Let's have the power of you can walk a couple extra steps. You can because
You
you have the
can.
ability to. And so we have to be mindful of that. For years, people always say, Nina, why don't you have a handicap sticker? And I would play around with the idea, but ain't nothing wrong with my legs. Ain't
Mm,
nothing wrong with them. I can walk. I
yeah.
can walk from wherever to wherever. And so that helped me to even more so say, I don't need a handicap sticker. Like, no, because I have to be considerate of other people who really do need it and not take advantage of that. And so
Yeah.
let's talk about the awards a little bit.
Oh
It's
my
coming
gosh.
up.
The Page Awards is so near and dear to my heart. It's such a blessing. We're about to celebrate year 8. I didn't think people were going to come to one. And they're here. They're coming to year 8. But the Page Awards is our signature celebration of strength and courage and quiet impact. Named after Paige, my daughter, she couldn't speak, but she changed lives with her presence. It honors individuals, families, businesses who uplift the special needs community. People who, like yourself, thank you for being one of our Page Award awardee family members. People who rise above their disability every single day and they show up for life, not just showing up, but changing the lives of others like yours. This is not just an event, it's a love letter to resilience. And every honoree reminds us that you don't need a loud voice to make a powerful difference. And this year we're excited about the group. Every year I'm like, I'm never gonna find anyone else. I'm never gonna find anyone. And then we do. And I'm blessed that the Lord keeps putting people in our path that we can celebrate. Because most people say no. Like, I don't do it for, because we have the therapists, the doctors, the nurses, the people in the community who help us have a better life. And they're often like, oh, I don't do it for that. I'm like, well, number one, you should. Not you shouldn't do it for it, but we should celebrate you. We celebrate the most random things in this society. Why not celebrate someone who's doing something from the heart, or people like yourself who show up? I mean, you doing both. You navigating through things yourself, but you're also showing up for other people. Why not? But then there's someone in that audience who's just coming to see what we're about, who don't have a disability or haven't had the blessing of being around someone with a disability. They're learning. They're getting a better appreciation for their blessings. Like you said, you can walk, you're fine. There are a lot of people out here who can't. Or, as my first guest on the Wendy Life told me, she had cerebral palsy. She said, any one of us can become disabled at any time. That
Mhm.
was 10 years ago. I will never forget that because it's true. You think people are born with something. A lot of times, an accident, an illness, something else has caused it. They've had this quote unquote normal life, and then something has happened, leaving them disabled. What makes us think that it can't be us? So come and learn and come and grow from the experience of being at the Page Awards.
And the Page Awards this year is August 9th in Chicago. Well, the south suburbs of Chicago. What is
Right
that?
by
Beverly
Chicago.
Hills, Tinley Park?
Orland Park. Yeah.
Orland Park. Look, y'all,
Look
it's all
look on the website.
suburbs in Chicago. I'm like, Olympia feels it's Orland. It's one of them
It's
O's.
Orland. Yeah,
Orland.
yeah, it's Orland, but it's a great celebration. You are definitely missing out if you don't make the time to come and spend a few hours with us and come into our world. We're always going out and trying to navigate the world outside of our homes, but come into our world and learn and grow. And I promise you will not leave the same.
My first experience with the Page Awards was life changing
Mm,
because I had came off of having an experience that kind of made me be like, I need to just stay away from people for a while. But I'm
mm,
so glad that I did not allow that situation to hinder me from going out to meet amazing people and
mm.
being in a room where the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming and loving and kind, and you felt like you mattered. You literally belonged
Yeah,
in that place, like in that room. It's
yeah,
such a magical evening, and I am looking forward to the third time I get to be in the building. Okay. And so I was at number 7, number 6, and I get to be at number 8. And
yeah.
I know they can't get rid of me. So,
Not
um,
trying to. You
right.
can't leave.
Now, you are a mother who did not only have one, but two special needs children. Um, and
Jesus.
what my question I want to ask or have you to kind of do is like educate our audience a little bit on things they should consider when they are encountering people with disabilities, because I
Mm,
have one, but you are a mother of not one but two, and so you have had years of experience, and it's nothing like hearing it from someone who actually has
mm.
that experience.
Man, what as a mother of 2, I have 3 children, and my oldest son is healthy and strong, just celebrated his 24th birthday, so happy birthday, Matthew. But as a mother of 2 children with special needs, start with humanity. See the person, not the diagnosis. Look them in the eye, speak to them with respect, and don't make assumptions. A lot of times I've found that depending on the disability, someone is seen as unintelligent. And that's often far, far from the truth. But disability doesn't mean inability. Accessibility isn't just about ramps and parking spaces, it's about a mindset. So ask how you can support, learn how to see the exclusion and speak up. If you see, like I saw the woman in Target, if you see something, speak up. They may tell you they don't need help. They may get angry because of their life situation or the day they're having, but take the time to speak up. Inclusion is about everyday choices. You don't need to have a title of advocate. You just need to have awareness and compassion. So look at people, talk, ask questions. Most people in the community don't mind questions. We mind ignorance. We mind being stared at. We mind it being ignored. So, yeah, see the humanity in each person that you speak to and don't make assumptions.
I love it. I love it, especially the don't make assumptions part. Like
Mm,
the
that's a
experiences,
whole show right there.
my goodness, right? Because the experiences you get when you are either a parent or the person with the difference, you're like, I didn't ask you to help me with that. And so
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, and I know we're down to like our last 9 minutes,
Are
and
you
I
serious?
not want to forget to talk about this beautiful book. I'm so excited, y'all. Because
Oh,
in
man.
therapy, my therapist told me to do something for myself 30 minutes a day, a
Mm,
minimal. And so this is one of my do for me things, reading
good.
and growing in self-love. Because we could get so caught up in loving everybody else, giving everybody else all
Mm,
parts of
mm,
neglect ourselves. And
yes.
for a long time, I didn't know I was even there in that part, in that point where it's, Nina, you could neglect Nina quite often. And so I thank God for this book. So I'm gonna be quiet and I want you to tell others a little bit about the power of self-love for women. I got my copy.
Oh, man.
Yours. Where did this come from? And tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. Well, thank you for for supporting us by reading a book. But self love is for the woman who's always been everything for everyone else, kind of what you just said, but often forgets yourself in the process. That comes from my life with three kids, two in wheelchairs, one in the middle. I'm trying to keep normal. It's for caregivers, the nurturers, the fighters who look strong on the outside, but it feel empty on the inside. The book walks beside you with truth and faith and practical tools to help you remember you're not just valuable, you're vital. And it's time to come home to yourself. We Many women go through life not only having themselves at the bottom of their priority list, a lot of times they're not even on the list of priorities. And prayerfully with this book and doing the work and the self-reflection, like your therapist told you, the 30 minutes a day, you learn to, okay, put yourself on a list and then keep inching it up, because they say you can't pour from an empty cup. And one day I'm gonna have a cup. Just if you imagine somebody say I'm thirsty and you have a cup that's empty and you're trying to pour, it's not going to work. It's the same with you. At some point, you're going to burn out. At some point, you may make yourself sick or you become resentful of the people who are pulling on you. Reading this book is our prayer, is that you will put yourself on the list of priorities. You will fill your cup where it's overflowing. God gave us space and the ability to be able to take care of so many, but you have to take care of yourself first. You're not only the example of those you're caring for, but you're filling the cup so that you can continue to show up for others who need you, because that's a blessing to serve others. But if you don't serve yourself first, it doesn't matter, because eventually you will burn out. So read the book.
Listen, one of the things that I was recently reading in the book was talking about boundaries, and I think that that's something a lot of people struggle
Yeah.
with having a healthy level of boundaries, because we all have to have boundaries. Some go to the extreme and some don't have none at all. Can you speak on boundaries and a little, just give them a taste of what that chapter kind of talks about a little bit, just to kind
Yeah.
of help us with the boundary part, especially healthy boundaries.
Yeah, and it's funny sometimes you don't know what a healthy boundary is and what is a not healthy boundary. A healthy boundary is first for me, my mantra for myself, if it doesn't give me joy and it doesn't pay a bill, I don't do it. If it's not something I want to do, so someone asks you, we're having a get together on this day, we want you to come. If you don't get excited about it, you probably are not interested in going, or whoever is throwing it, or the people who are going to be there. Or how about you're just tired and you need to say no? I find that more women than men have a problem with saying no. No, for the record, hear my voice. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to say, no, I can't because I'd love to, but I have to. Because now you're inviting people to negate everything that you're saying, to talk you out of what you just told them, to talk you out of your no. So just to think about your initial feeling, like when you said, can you do this podcast? Yeah, let me find a space because I want to. I was excited about it. But I have been invited to do things or be present at a function or a celebration. And it doesn't take away from the celebration for me to say no. It just means that I'm in a space where that's not conducive to the path that I'm on, or I just need to sit down and I'm going to allow myself to sit down. And for me I think I've taught most people around me that when I say no, it's just a no. There's no need to talk about it any further. Respect my no. And then on the flip, you got to respect other people's no's. You can't say you want people to understand your no and then you don't accept their no. Somebody say no and it hurts your feelings.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you anymore.
The flip of being able to say no to people, you have to be able to respect their no. If you invite someone or ask someone to do something or whatever and they say no, you have to learn to respect theirs too, because this is a world where we're helping each other. And so as you're learning to say no, and you can say it with a smile, or you could just say, I'm not going to be able to, or I don't have time to do that. But learn to just put that no in there, because when you say no, it opens you up to say yes to things that you really want to do, things that excite you, things that feed your soul, things that keep you along the path that you want to be on. Learn to say no. It's a nice word.
And as they say, no is a whole sentence. It's a complete
whole,
sentence.
whole sentence. Yes.
And so for those of you who have a hard time with no, sometimes no is yes. You can say no, okay?
You
Saying no
can.
sometimes is saying yes, and you don't realize that. There was a sentence that I wanted to read, and from the book, it says, "At its essence, mindfulness is the practice of present moment awareness. It involves focusing your attention on the here and now,
Mm,
observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment." For me,
mm,
that was so powerful because it's like, man, how often are you not in the here and now? And we
yeah.
have to pause and literally
Yeah.
sometimes I'm learning to just be in that moment and be in the here and now. So again, I just want to thank you for the book because I think
Wow.
we could talk about it forever and ever and ever because it has so much in it.
Thank you.
We'll definitely have to have you back and go subject based on the different things. One of the things that I always want to do before I end any episode is to have the audience to leave, have my guests to leave the audience with a you can moment in your own words.
Okay, you can't. Yeah, I love the title. But here's what I know. You can rise from the ashes. You can love yourself after loss. You can lead, even though you've been broken. I've lived through what I thought would destroy me, but instead it shaped me. Whatever season you're in, know this. You can begin again. Don't say I'm too old. Don't say I don't have enough. Don't say you have enough now to begin again. So you can build something beautiful and you can become the woman, the man, the person that you were always meant to be. I mean, your show says it all. You can. You just have to give yourself permission to know that you can.
Wendy, thank you so
I love
much.
you so
I
much.
appreciate you. This was such a blessing, not just to me,
Oh,
to others. So you all tune in next week so you can hear more about how you absolutely can.